Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to another astronomy broadcast where we're going to see another Cloudy Nights Observer Challenge from the EAA forum. And my buddy Ollie has, from Germany, has put up a nice list here. And so we're going to take a look at that. Take a look at some of the stuff that he has suggested. Let me turn this off so that I'm not getting a feedback loop. Okay, very good. All right, let's turn off the test pattern and go here and here. And so Ollie has put together a nice little list. There's actually quite a few things in this list. It's a big list, and it's a mix of both broadband and narrowband galaxy type objects. So my plan is to do part 1 tonight, which we're going to do broadband. So just the UV-IR cut filter is all we're going to use tonight. And we'll do all the things that respond well to broadband. And then part 2, I will put the nebula filter in for part 2. And we'll do all the stuff, all the galaxies and things that respond pretty well, all the sharpless objects and things that respond very well to nebula filters. And we'll do that in part 2, which, according to my current forecast, looks like Sunday night. So 48 hours from now. Because it's the weather, it's always a variable. But right now, it looks like Sunday night will be probably a pretty good night to do it. And so that's what I'm shooting for. So tonight we'll start with the broadband stuff, and then we'll go to the narrowband stuff later. So that's my plan. But as always, let's start off with what I'm using. My setup. Okay. There we are. So this is my telescope. It is an 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, so 200 millimeters of aperture, and I have a Hyperstar in the front of it, so it's only a f1.9, so it's a little under 400 millimeters of focal length, and the camera, the 183, is stuck in the front of that, and it's all riding on my AM5 strain wave mount, and of course the spare no expense center block mount pier behind it. And then I'm on a table behind this bringing all the pictures to you. So that is what we are going to be looking through tonight. Now let me resize this window so that you guys can see all of it. Because for my broadcast resolution, I can only broadcast a certain resolution due to my limited bandwidth, so I have to only broadcast part of my screen. So I have to make sure all my windows are right for you guys. So we have the planetarium up. Now let's load. I actually made a list of an observing list in Stellarium for this import list. And not here. Observation lists and Cloudy Nights Observers Challenge and October 25. Okay, and there's that, and we'll highlight all those objects, escape out of that window, and now all of our objects in all these lists have these cool little circles on them, so we can easily see where they are. Now, there's only 3 of them that are actually on the west side of the meridian. And so there's only 3 here. The rest are all in the east. So I want to stay in the east. And as it would happen, all 3 of these are things that respond well to the nebula filter. So we are going to do those in part 2. So we can ignore those for tonight. We will get to those next time. But for tonight, we can do some of this stuff. So I think, I don't think we have anything closer. So I think the first thing up is going to be LBN 437, which may be tricky to select directly, so I will just use the list to do it. And we will send the scope right on over there. All right, and now we got to go find SharpCap. There you are. And I also have to shrink this down because this is also too big. No, what just happened? I don't know what just happened there. Everything just, my mouse decided to double and triple click on a bunch of things and everything went, hey, and it just did it again. Why is this doing this? And it just did it again. Huh, somehow my mouse is messing up and interpreting a single click as multiple clicks. Okay, so I need it to be the same size as that window, which means right about like that. Okay, so now we can plate solve. And we're off by just a little bit. So this first one is going to be a dark nebula, the LBN, the Barnard list. There goes a satellite right through our temporary image. Okay, and you need to come up here, and you need to go down here. As my script runs. So we're going to start off with something pretty dark. A dark nebula specifically. Alright, we'll reset this. We'll get this out of the way. Start the first sub-exposure. Yeah, it's one of the tough ones. The Gecko Nebula. Let's see what... oh, he has a picture of it. So what he is posting... Okay, so he's just posting images of it that he took. Okay. So a dark nebula. So this will be just an area that of dark dust, light absorbing, light blocking dust and gas and whatnot that blocks out the stars behind it, and so it just looks like this black cloud. And it's called the Gecko Nebula. And after we get our first sub in here, I will see if Wikipedia has anything written about it. We'll probably need to stretch this quite a bit to bring it out. Ooh, and I forgot. We have a nice bright spot. Well, you can see it's not too bad, but I forgot to put my flat in, which will tend to make a bright spot in the middle of the image anyway, which we don't necessarily want. But you can see it's sort of this area here, where it's this grayish cloud. It'll look better in a minute here when I get my flat applied. Which we have to wait for the next sub to make happen. Doink. Okay, now we should be getting somewhere. Probably need to slightly recolor balance again and readjust. Yeah, there we are. So now the field's a little more even. So you can see it's just faint in here. So we'll need to go on this for a little bit to bring it out more. But yeah, dark nebula called the Gecko Nebula. Okay. Now this thing is freaking out on me. Okay. Nope. Don't have anything on it. All right. But you can kind of see there's a little cloudy bit in there. and it will come in a bit stronger as we catch more sub-exposures. It'll get, the contrast will get a little better. Dark nebula is very, very subtle stuff, but it's fun to find, and it's fun to try and image well, because it's also tough to image well. Okay, let me get my background music on. So we have that going, and that should, yeah, that should be going now. Whoa, where'd my screen go? Okay, there we are. See if I can find. Also known as the Gaganu's bizarre shape, is curiously located within the constellation of the Lizard. Nebula is composed of several dark, unilluminated clouds with emissions visible in the carbon monoxide band. Let's see, does anybody have any? It's a molecular cloud in the constellation Lacerta. Yep. Not really a whole lot out there about this. I realize I've had my mic muted for a while now, so you haven't heard anything I've been saying. Anyway, dark nebulae are pretty subtle things. And hi, Ron. I said hi to you earlier, but my mic was muted and I didn't realize it. So, having a great fall here. We've got our fall here is usually our great fall time is October and early November. Our temperatures have been like in the middle 80s or so during the day, which for our super low humidity is really nice to be in. So having a great fall so far. How about you? Where are you, Ron? I forget where you're at. This is coming in pretty well. This is the kind of these are very subtle objects, dark nebulae, and so you can spend a lot of time, hours you can spend on trying to bring these out better. So we're obviously not going to spend more than about 10 or 12 minutes, but I think we can already see it's got some really nice star color in it, and the nebula is kind of popping out pretty nicely, even for our little brief EAA visit. It's going to come out pretty well. Not really sure I'm seeing the gecko part, but yeah, anyway, who knows? Created my list here, so another thing I was saying is, oh yeah, and then this thing automatically resized on me here, which I didn't want to have happen. So we need to resize this back to where it was. And as I go through these objects, I'm going to, wrong key, I'm going to delete things as we see them, so that the items that will be left on the list will be what we need to see for part 2. So, yeah, we'll take another couple of minutes on this. What am I going to, while this is doing this, what are we going to do next? So the sharpless objects, those are really great objects for the nebula filter, so we'll leave that. 7822. 7822. Let's order these. 7822. The question mark. Yeah, that's another great one for nebula filter. So that one will be a wait. 7770. A galaxy. That'll be a great one for our current setup. So we'll try that one. Whoop. This mouse is just misclicking on places I don't want it to click. See, it just clicked again. I'm not trying to click and it's clicking. Yeah, well. Alright, yeah, so those are all good for the nebula filter, so we'll do the Galaxy 7770 next. Ow! Northeast Iowa. I have a friend in Iowa. Although I can't tell you what part of Iowa. Had our first frost last night. Yes, those early fall days. Crisp, clear mornings. Really good for astronomy when the air gets nice and cold and calm like that. Great laminar flow air. And we might take another couple of subs on this. What we might do is just kind of cruise around in it a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's just a lot of this cloudy air that's blocking some of, you can see a lot of the stars behind are still there, but they're obscured by these dark layers of gas, molecular dust, and all kinds of stuff. actually quite pretty when stars around them are making them glow a little bit, as ours are. As these are here. Almost like putting a fuzzy filter in front of something. Oh, back to catching the whole thing. Maybe we'll do the full 15 minutes on this, because we're splitting the list up into 2 different parts. We can take a little more time on some of the more faint objects, and this definitely is a pretty faint object. Let's see what picture Ollie got of this. 437. See, so there's his image of it. Slightly different orientation. He got a nice satellite blast right through it too. Yeah, I think we did okay. Go back. Go back. Yeah, it's coming out pretty good. It helps to have dark skies and to be able to image broadband without really having any filters other than a UV-IR cut filter. Most people are under enough light pollution that they have to use some sort of filter, which of course makes viewing these kinds of things much more difficult. So, I'm very lucky in that way. But there's 15 minutes, so I think that came out. Let me do one more stretch on it, just to really push the limit there. Yeah, I think that came out pretty well. You can pretty clearly see the cloud and the stars that are being obscured by it. What object am I doing next? Well, that's a great question. I am going to be doing NGC 7770 next, which is a galaxy in the constellation of Pegasus, which hopefully will be big enough to be able to see at my short focal length. I'm really set up to see larger objects like this, larger, fainter objects, so hopefully we'll be able to see that pretty well. So let's move on from this. That's a wonderful dark nebula. Thank you, Ollie. That's a pretty cool one. Move on from this and move on to that galaxy next. Okay. Okay, I'm getting this writing in here, which is not supposed to be here. I don't know. I must have accidentally hit some background images. I hit some sort of labeling that now has shown up, and I don't even know what I hit, so I don't know how to turn it off. But anyway, well, there's actually 2 things in here. Can I get them both in one shot? No, not even close. Okay. Okay, and let's go back and plate solve. 3/4 of a degree. Seems off by quite a bit. Okay, let's start taking our images. Okay, let's unstretch that. And we're going to do NGC 7770. Uh, 7770, 7771. I wonder if it's an interactive galaxy. There's no image here, so it may be two interacting galaxies. It doesn't say it's interacting. But there doesn't seem to be any image in here. There doesn't seem to be any entry in Wikipedia for this object. Yeah, there they are. Teeny tiny little suckers. Yeah, well, we'll see how, if I can pull these in very well. They're so small, which is not ideal for my setup, but let's see what we can see. At least we can try. So I think this is 7770 and 7771. So as I bring up my annotation here. Yeah. Well, no, they're all called 7770. 7071. Huh. Oh, 70 is over there. 69, 70, 71. This one is NGC 7769 and 77777. Oh, isn't that interesting? There's multiple galaxies in here. So this obviously is a galaxy group, which I'm going to be hard pressed to really pull in with any level of detail. But we'll see what several subs will do for it. Alright, let's put this guiding window down here out of the way. Very small objects. Looks like these are all interacting to some degree, and you can't, they're all very close together and overlapping. Mag 14 galaxy, Mag 12s, Mag 15. There's a bunch in the outskirts too. So 77, 70, 77, 71. Interesting. Let's see what he got here. Call these intermediates. 69, 70, 71. He actually has the numbering backwards, according to the SharpCap annotation anyway. According to SharpCap, the little one is 70 and the bigger one is 71. Yeah, the bigger one is 71 and the little one is 70, according to this annotation, according to these catalogs anyway. 70, 70, or 77, 71 south. Or you just see 12, 8, 13. Many catalogs. And 77, 69 is down here, which kind of looks like a nice, really nice little spiral. In here, it's got some outer bands as well that are pretty faint. But stretch this a bit more so you can see it a bit more. Yeah, you can see there's definitely some stuff. Video viewer says I'm imaging at 450 millimeters. Yeah, so I'm at about 380, 390, something like that. So your field of view will be just a little bit smaller, but the object should actually look a little bit bigger to you. Very interesting little objects here, Ollie. This would be better if I had my 6.3 reducer in and was shooting at 1200 millimeters instead of 400. Then these would be a lot bigger. And that's when I'm during galaxy season in the spring. That's actually what I do. Take the Hyperstar off. It's one of the only times of the year the Hyperstar stays off is during the galaxy season when I want to shoot much smaller objects. So the longer focal length makes everything essentially, in effect, increases your magnification. So just running at higher mag. At the risk of things being a bit grainy, we'll go in a little further. You can see there's more stuff here. Another thing here. So this must be, I wonder if any of this is in my catalog. Oh yeah. So this is a mag 17. This is a mag 17.2. And here my catalog goes down to 18. So it's going to look really grainy going in this far, but yeah, so all these are galaxies in here. Yeah, with the Hyperstar in, my C8 goes from 2,000 millimeters to 400. Actually, because it's f1.9, it's down to like 390 or less. In fact, I can tell you exactly what it is if we just do a plate solve only. SharpCap gives you many good pieces of information, including what your focal length is. Right now, it calculates it at 390, which is right about dead on. My field of view is 1.9 by 1.3 degrees. So that's currently what I'm shooting at with the Hyperstar V4 on the scope. Oh, you got an 80 millimeter, right? Okay, so an 80 millimeter f6 are close enough. Yeah, those are great little imaging scopes. That's 80 millimeters, a great size to image with. Very forgiving for doing imaging. What camera are you using with your 80? Bortle 8, yeah. Well, you're in very good company. Most people are, most people live in light polluted places. That's kind of the way it works. They're light polluted because that's where most people live. Not very many people want to live out in the middle of the desert. So, it takes a special kind of crazy to be out here. I think you guys maybe can just start to see the outer spiral, the wispy outer spiral arms on 7769. It's pretty cool. See if I can cheat this out a little bit more. A little bit more of a stretch. Oh, a 294. Whoa, hey, at 450 millimeters. Yeah, not much zooming in for you. Those are big pixels. Your image scale is pretty big. But you must have a fantastic field of view. Nice big 4/3 sensor like that. Probably catch some pretty big stuff. I don't imagine you'd want to be going in after anything small like this, though. Even with my tiny little pixels, it's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, you're starting to be able to see some of this. A little bit of wispiness on the outside of this one. This wispy spiral arms, one here and one here. On this little guy. And of course all these three other little baby galaxies that are in there. Which may or may not be small. They may just be hundreds of millions of light years away. Don't know. I don't know anything about these. I can't seem to find much info on them. But it's a cool little galaxy group. I wonder if they really are a gravitationally bound group, or if it's all just... They look like they're close together, but none of them actually are. They're all just in a line. Some much further away and some much closer. .660 was not successful, huh? We haven't gotten there yet. We'll get there soon. But, yeah. Well, we'll see how well I do. I got even less focal length than you did, but my 183 has really small pixels. So that makes it a little bit better to get this tiny stuff. So we'll see how I do. These faint little galaxies are pretty cool, though. I'm going to go back out on this, I think. I didn't have to wait for the image so long for the image to update on my screen, but yes, I do have a lot more aperture. That is true, and that does help with detail and light. image is pretty grainy, but it does. The price is it's the graininess, but you can really see the wispy outer arms of these galaxies now. Even sort of a dark lane right through here. A swirl of a dark lane on this edge-on galaxy. Right here. So, pretty cool. It's a grainy image, but it is showing a lot. So, I think it's worth it to get the structure of the galaxies to pop out a bit. You know, another object that could go for a lot more time. And as it is, we're doing 15 minutes on this one, so that came out pretty good, I think. That came out pretty good, I'd say. Let's see what's next. Oh, PGC 120. Taffy galaxies. Okay, more interacting galaxies. All right. So let's go look at more interacting galaxies. Those actually came out pretty well. Let's go look at the next door neighbor here. Let's go look at the next door neighbor and see what they got going on. These are pretty small, obscure objects, so not really finding any details on them. So can't really tell you much about them. Oh, but one thing I didn't do was look at, yeah, see, so he got these pictures. Let's take a look at what he's got for, my battery's running low. Well, we can fix that pretty quick. Like that. Let's plug the other one in too. While we're plugging things in, let's just do the other one too. Make everybody happy. Okay, so now what, the Taffy galaxies, it's probably going to be down here. Taffy galaxies. Oh yeah, look at those little guys. Yeah, he did it with the reducer. With the an F7 reducer, so getting a lot more detail. And we'll have to see what... Oh yeah, boy, little guys right in there. Just little guys. No, that's not what I meant to click. I meant to click that. Darn it. That's not enough. We need to go in more. Okay. Another one we're going to have to crank way in for, but we're getting some nice, yeah, they're curving into each other. That's not what I wanted to do. little tiny interacting galaxies. Now, there was actually two things in his, let's see, he had much longer focal length, so. GC, interacting galaxies. And then with UGC 12915, set somewhere, but we got a little galaxy up here. Okay, so they're both, yeah. Well, look at all the galaxies that are in there. Huh. (12.914) and 12.915. Okay, but now where is? Oh, okay, so 12, yeah, okay, so 914 and 915. So basically just get it both there. They're called the Taffy galaxies. core on this galaxy, core on that one, and the gravity is pulling them together, pulling them apart. Who's next? GC 654, I think is probably going to be next. Fuzzy butterfly cluster. Okay. All right, let's go see the fuzzy butterfly cluster. What is NGC? NGC stands for the New General Catalog of Astronomical Objects. It's one of the largest and most popular catalogs containing most of the most popular objects, the brightest objects in the sky. Yeah, it is a nice pair. But it looks like we got two clusters here. Yeah, we got this one and this one. So let's do a twofer and get them both. Why not? Get them both. Yeah, both right in the view. I don't even need to plate solve that. I clearly see that. And I'm also going to reduce the exposure a little bit. Well, I'll just leave it. I can reduce the... Oh, I'm sorry. You're asking what is the NGC number of the fuzzy butterfly. Gotcha. 654. Fuzzy butterfly, NGC 654 is the actual answer to your question. Let's see what... this is probably going to be in the top. Yeah, fuzzy butterfly, the easy ones. Yeah, just a little cluster. Yeah, so we got two clusters in here. let's sort this and then do that. Something like that, and then pull this back, something like that. Yeah, two nice little clusters here. So the fuzzy butterfly there, and then we've got another one here, and actually a third one here. This is a cluster of clusters. And some dark nebula as well. Caldwell 10, or 663, 654, and not sure what this one is. 0654? No, that's that one. And you see 065 something. 0663 is up there. Oh, it's 0659, another cluster right there. But the one we're after is 654, which is right there. The rest of it is just a bonus. We can certainly zoom in on these a little bit. So that's the one that Ollie wants us to look at, but this one's pretty nice too. A couple of nice orangish reddish stars, a nice blue young hot star there and there. Another yellowish orange one there. Right there, stretch it a little more, get a little more brightness on there. Yeah, these are a couple of nice ones. Alright. Those are all that we need to do. Where did I hit? Oh, it might have been. Yeah, V. That's what it was. Alt V. Instead of Alt B. That's what made all those extra markings. Okay, so we're on 654 right now. I guess 672 will be next. More galaxies. No, I don't do the color calibration. I found it just screws my images up. So, no, I don't do it. I find that just a good old-fashioned color balance here, auto color balance, and then histogram adjustments seem to buy me pretty good colors. And so I don't do this. I don't really know how to... I tried it a couple of times, and yeah, well, I tried it a couple of times, and all it did was turn my images bright pink or bright blue or some other crazy colors. So I didn't continue with it. I've always been pretty happy with the way my images are. Maybe because of my dark skies, it's just easier for the auto adjustments to do it right. I don't know, but they always seem to come out pretty well. That's a good question. Are these close to? Are these actually close together, or are they just one much closer than the other? That's a good question. Let me see if 654. Let me see if we can get an entry on it. 654. Yes. Open cluster. Okay, so 654, which is this one down here, is an open cluster discovered by William Herschel in 1787, who seems to have discovered most of the objects in the sky. The sky was just prolific. Here, let's move that out too. It can be observed with binoculars because it's about a mag 6.5. The same low power field can also be seen in the open clusters NGC 663 and 659. It is about 70, almost 8,000 light years away, a little bit less than 8,000 light years away. It's a very young cluster, only about 15 million years old. The central region shows less reddening. It seems to indicate that, yes, these things are all kind of in the same region. So it looks like they all are kind of more or less together, a little less than 8,000 light years away. Zoom back out, we can see, yeah, there's another cluster here. So there's a bunch of little clusters in here. And they all seem to be kind of hanging out in the same spot. Or so it would seem. And it's fairly young at only 15 million years old. That's some young stars. Uh, 672 is next. I think we'll just take our 10th one here, and then we'll move on to 672. Okay, plate solve that. Again, 3/4 of a degree off, which seems excessive, but Okay, this is another interacting galaxy. GC 672. Let's see what he has for a picture on this. Don't see it, don't see it, don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, right down there on the bottom. Okay. Couple of, well, interacting galaxies, so these definitely are in proximity to each other. Yeah, there they are. Nice little cluster up there. Look at the galaxies. Another galaxy there. Galaxy there. Galaxy there. Looks like a grip of them. A whole bunch. But here's the ones we're after here. These two are apparently interacting. You can see he's kind of tugging this one in a kind of a bent direction. This one's kind of bending up a little bit. They're definitely attracting each other. All right. See how those get on. 672. Spiral galaxy. Once again, discovered by William Herschel, 1786. The original object designated 672 was discovered by William Herschel, but this was later cataloged as NGC 614. The object now identified as NGC 672, which is what we're looking at, was discovered by John Herschel, which I believe was his son or nephew. It's approximately 23 million light years away, where it forms an interacting pair with the irregular galaxy IC 1727. A tidal bridge is observed between the galaxies. 672 appears to be the more massive of the two, and hence 1727 shows more distortion from the interaction. Well, maybe when we get a few more subs and can zoom in, we can see that a little better, but this looks like a nice little edge-on spiral up here. Now let's just zoom in. And this one seems to be a little bit more warpy, I guess. So 672 is a barred spiral. Anyway, about 23, 24 million light years away, somewhere like that. Something like that. Got a little guy right here. Another little guy in there. And two more up here. Wonder if these will come out in the annotation. Yeah. There's a mag 15.3s up here. There's a mag 16.3 here. Oh, there's a mag 17.7. Again, my catalog only goes down to 18, so there's probably some mag 18, 19 galaxies in here that are so faint they look like faint stars. You can't really see them very well. Because I know this will go down to at least mag 20. But trying to keep a catalog of that size, every time you go down one mag level, you go up an order of magnitude in the number of galaxies that there are in the catalog. So even down to mag 18, my catalog is a little over 750,000 objects. So kind of slows the PC down to load it. As possible without making it too grainy. Well, thanks for being here, video viewer. I appreciate your time. And I'll see you maybe next time. Well, supposedly there's a tidal bridge of stars between these galaxies. I think I'd have to stretch it so far it would make it really grainy to see, but I wonder if his picture... his picture doesn't really pick it out very well either. So... you have to kind of use averted imagination to see it, but... yeah, they say this one's a little more distorted than this one, but I don't know, they both look kind of distorted to me. So... yeah. Where are we gonna go next? I guess 470. Let's go to 470 next. Another interacting pair of galaxies. Okay. Well, there's 12. Cool. Let's go to 470 next. More further of these here. We'll have to wait till those come up a bit more. That's okay, we got some things to see before we get there. Alright, let's... it corrects, but this doesn't correct, so I never can. I can't sync Stellarium because it's not recognizing the resync and slew. NGC 470. Spiral galaxy, 91 million light years away. Discovered by William Herschel. It weakly interacts with its neighbor. Okay. Now let's see. Let's see what we see here. Up here, pretty faint and fuzzy. Need to back this off a little bit at first. There's a few galaxies in this image. Yeah, the bottom one is actually a bit brighter, but so this is our galaxy here, and it's weakly interacting with that one. There's another one here. They're of course all over the place. They're all over the place. But these two are the ones that are... So after we take a bunch of subs on this one, we'll see that this this has very faint arms, very faint outer area that's being distorted down here a bit by this one. So we're going to need to have a few subs come in before we can stretch it that much. Oh, and I forgot to do my bookkeeping. I forgot to start deleting the ones that we've taken a look at. Gosh darn it. Wrong button again. Okay. Which ones have we done? We have not done that. GZ470 is the one we're doing now. We did 664, the fuzzy butterfly. 672 we did. 7770 we did. PGC 120 we did. Okay, I think. Did we do 1073? Did we do 1073? Where's 1073? No, it's way down here. We have not done that one yet. Okay. We're now doing, we did 672. Yeah. We didn't do that one. We did this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Well, we haven't done 660 yet. Okay. Yeah, very true. It's not cloudy enough for right now. It actually is not even any breeze, which is pretty nice. It's kind of ideal. So, yeah, I'm having a great night out here today. Well, let's see if I can stretch this a little more. This is really faint. The outer part of this is really faint. So pretty hard to see. Probably zoom in a little bit more might help. So you can see this is kind of funny shaped. It's not really circular. This one's more circular, but this one seems to be more funny shaped. So these two seem to be interacting a little bit. images he got out of it. Go back. 470. Let's see what he got for an image. Yeah, his is also very faint. Can't really see the outer part of his very well. But what did he do this with? Oh wow, he did it with at full f10, so yeah, so he did it at f10, which is 25 times slower than with the Hyperstar, so that's why his is pretty faint too. Not sure we're going to be able to see a whole lot of that. This would take a lot of time to really pull out this faint outer area. We can just barely see an outline of it here. But I think what's most obvious is just how this is sort of warped, almost like a saddle or something. And the whole thing is warped. If you look at Hubble images of this, it's well, actually, even on the Hubble image, it's pretty. This sort of dips down a little more here. This part here sort of dips down a little more. So, but it's really even in the Hubble imagery, it's pretty faint stuff. But it's an interesting look. This is an interesting looking galaxy. Got a core, pretty clearly defined bright core, and then it's just really wispy at the outer parts. So, very interesting. I don't know that we're going to be able to pull a whole lot more out of this. But I guess that's why it's one of the challenging. Whoa, 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 whoa. No. Guess that's why it's in the challenging list. No, I guess he actually called it an intermediate. No, 470 is actually not too hard to see, so I guess that is intermediate. But this one is a challenge. Trying to see the outer parts of this is quite a challenge. Did I remove 470 already? Yeah, I did. Let's reorder this. Yeah. We'll do 660 next. Squeeze that stretch. Yeah, so you can just barely see the wispy outer parts of that upper one. So I think we're just gonna I don't think we're going to get it much better than that, so I think we're just going to move on to the next object. That's about as good as we're going to get that one. 660 is next. Okay. And we'll start in on this one. While that's going, let's take 660 out of the list. And reflection, yeah, embryo. Embryo and Opar clouds are both good to do. You can see we've got some stuff left. Okay, 672. Let's get this backed off a little bit. Okay, now this one we've already done. Yeah, we already did 672. Forgot to remove it from the list. Yeah, this was the one in triangle that we already did. So let's take this one. Okay, I already removed it. Alright. So we've done 470, 660, 672. 654 we did. Okay, so now we're down to 23 and 925. So let's go do Caldwell 23. Oh, the silver sliver. That's a good one. Okay, silver sliver, are we over there? This will be a nice, fairly bright one. Which I'm surprised. Yeah, I guess it should be a fairly bright one. I'm surprised I don't see it already. But 891. It's an edge-on unbarred spiral 30 million light years away. Discovered by William Herschel. Visible in small to moderate sized telescopes. There's a faint elongated smear of light with a dust lane visible in larger apertures. And you see 891 looks as the Milky Way would look when viewed edge on. So, similar to how ours will look. Yeah, you can quite clearly see the nice dark sharp dust lane we're seeing almost perfectly edge on. Very nice. In fact, both this galaxy and the Milky Way are considered very similar in terms of luminosity and size. Studies of the dynamics of its hydrogen also prove likely presence of a central bar. This galaxy is the member of a small group of galaxies, sometimes called the NGC 1023 group. The bulge and the disk are surrounded by a flat and thick cocoon-like stellar structure. These have vertical and radial distances of up to 15 kiloparsecs and are interpreted as the remnants of a satellite galaxy disrupted and in the process of being absorbed by 891. Okay. Stands out very nicely. Okay, callable 23. Let's make sure we have this off our list. Are you there? Remove. Excellent. All those are gone. 925 is next, and then we'll see. So this is a bit higher than Pleiades. I don't see Pleiades yet. Might be. Yeah, we might be able to get there. Alright, 925 will be next. But in the meantime, we can enjoy the silver sliver. Get some good color with this. Some Nice yellowish core. And it's got a very, that dark dust lane is very sharp on there. Even a little spike kicking out down here. It's a very cool galaxy. Nice target, Ollie. Glad you suggested it. Alright, so there's 10 minutes on that one. Don't think we need to spend more time on that. It's a nice, bright, sharp object. One of our local neighbors at only 30 million light years away. So, very cool. Good night, Silver Sliver Galaxy. And now we'll go to NGC 925. Okay, center that up. Okay, come on. And now we will start on this one. This is NGC 925. Let's see what 925 is. An intermediate. Oh, an interesting shaped barred spiral-ish. Okay. Well, we'll see what we get. NGC 925. So this is another one about 30 million light years away. William Herschel, of course, discovered it in 1784. It's a barred structure, loosely wound spiral arms, and no ring. The spiral arm to the south is stronger than the north, with the latter appearing less coherent. There we are. That's a pretty good start. The bar is offset from the center of the galaxy and is the site of star formation all along its length. Both of these morphological traits, a dominant spiral arm and the offset bar, are typical characteristics of a Magellanic spiral galaxy. Which is a spiral galaxy typically having only one spiral arm. The galaxy is inclined at an angle of 55 degrees line of sight. So we're looking at it sort of edge on. It's a member of the NGC 1023 group, a gravitationally bound group of galaxies. However, the nearest member lies at least 650,000 light years away. So, probably pretty loosely gravitationally attracted. Definitely an interesting looking galaxy, that's for sure. Clumps of blue star formation. It's a very blue looking galaxy. And the colors are balanced, so it's just a blue looking galaxy. And let's get to actually that's popped to the left once. Boink. Smooth that out a little bit. Probably get that stretched a little more. this out of 925. Did not move that. Let's see, these are all good for the filter. These down here, yeah, so basically the upper half of this list is good for the filter, and the bottom part is good for unfiltered reflection. Galaxy. Yeah, double star. Like to leave a decent number though for the I wonder which ones I could do. Well, unfiltered really. These bottom 7 really are good for unfiltered, so. Let's see if we can stretch this a little more. Pick up a little more. Yeah, just sort of an odd-looking galaxy. All right, so I think that's going to be pretty good for this one. What's next? 925. Yeah, I think it's C5 is way out there. I think 1073 is probably going to be next. Yep. 1073 will be next. The rest of these are, ooh, that's getting pretty low. Yeah, it's getting pretty low for me. I got a roof that's in here, so it's getting a little bit low. but I think I'll be okay on this. Alright, let's recenter that. Okay, and then we'll go, and we'll center that. Okay, and this is NGC 1073. Oops, 1073. Let's see, NGC 1073. Parts, Spiral Galaxy, and Cetus. It's estimated to be about 55 million light years from Earth, so about double the distance of the ones we've been looking at. Possesses a disk spanning an estimated 80,000 light years in diameter, so a bit smaller than the Milky Way. It's similar to the Milky Way only in their shared possession of a galactic bar. 1073, however, does not possess the well-defined symmetrical arm structure the Milky Way exhibits and retains a central bar larger than our home galaxies. Okay. Just that. Put that. And looks like a bit of a faint one. So we may need to spend a few minutes on it. Oh, hey, Allie. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, definitely check out the replay. You know where it'll be. Definitely a very faint one, this one is. Definitely a very faint one. Well, that's loading in. Most of the rest of these now are going to be too low. Do we have anything else too low? No, we don't. So what do we got left here? 1073, we got M77. The rest of these are a bit low, so what I'm tempted to do, problem is, no, these are all still, so the ones on the western horizon that we didn't do, they're still up fairly decently. Cygnus. Yeah. Cygnus is still up pretty high. So I can easily do these. What I'm thinking of doing is saving these, which are all the, I'm thinking of doing part 2 and getting a later start, because some of this stuff right now is really, I mean, where I'm at right now, this is kind of pushing it. Pleiades isn't quite risen yet. These are all lower than that. So what I'm thinking of doing is perhaps calling it quits after this object tonight. Maybe I'll do M77. Well, maybe I'll save M77. And then do the rest of these in part 2, hopefully Sunday night, and just get a later start. You know, start at like 8:30 or 9. You know, start an hour and a half later, so that I can do these on this side, do the, most of the, all of the filtered ones, and then have these left for later in the evening. Possibly even remove the filter during the session. But these right now are just a little bit too low. So I can maybe just calling it here, and maybe do M77, calling it here, and then doing part 2 and getting a later start on it, so that I can do the filtered things, and then maybe remove the filter, refocus the scope, and then do the later, these later rising things that I can't quite see right now. So, I don't want the list, obviously I don't want the list to be, see right now this is probably a decent, a decent couple hours here. So, but I definitely will have to remove the filter for some of this stuff. It just needs to be a bit later in the night for me to be able to see it. Let's see, I'm on 1073 right now. Yeah, I'm 1073 right now, so we can remove that one. Which will leave M77 and all this later stuff. We haven't done Caldwell 5 yet, so that'll still be there. So we're going to have an interesting list with stuff here and then stuff all the way on the other side, sort of nothing in the middle. Oh, well, yeah, actually there'll be a few things in the middle, because there'll be some filtered stuff, some filter required stuff. But yeah, it's just a little bit too early to get some of this later stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. Meantime, 1073 is slowly coming along. It's rather faint though. I think we can push the stretch a little bit more. couple of minutes on this, and then since M77 is right here, I'll do M77 next, and that'll be the last object for tonight. And then we'll do part 2 either Sunday or Monday night. We'll see how the weather forecast turns out, and my schedule. I think I have a meeting on Monday night, but it shouldn't be a very long meeting. So, and I want to get a later start anyway, so it might work out. So we'll have to see. But I think either Sunday or Monday night I'll do part 2, and we'll do the rest of the list. I'll get a later start on it. We'll do the filtered stuff, and then I'll pull the filter out. We'll refocus the scope and get the rest of this low stuff here that is just a little bit low for this early in the night. So get the 12th minute here and go do M77. Call it good for tonight for part 1. Yeah, this came out fairly decent. It is a pretty faint galaxy. Kind of a cool shape, almost like a hexagon shape here or something. Pretty interesting. Alright. Let's go do M77 right next door here. In fact, objects nearby, I may even be able to just center in view. Yeah, I don't even need to use Stellarium. I can just use SharpCap to bring it into view. Alright. We'll start right on it here. While that's working on it, so we're now on 77. What the heck? How did you get a... Don't know what happened there. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. I could have done both at once. How silly is that? Huh. I could have done both at once. Yeah, alright. I could have done 73 and this one at the same time. How silly that I didn't notice that. Oh well. This will be our last one for tonight, and the rest of the list will be for next time, for part 2. Well, clearly M77 has a friend here as well. Let's clean this up a little bit. Bright core and a fuzzy outer part, and another edge-on spiral here with a nice core that you can see both sides of. And you see 1055 and 1068 or M77. Well, wonder why this is off like that. Everything else is on. I'm not sure why that one's off, but whatever. So we'll do a little bit on M77 here. This is another one with a pretty sharply defined dust trail along the edge of the galaxy. Dust lane right through there. Just like our Silver Sliver galaxy from earlier. talk a little bit about these objects. That wouldn't be a bad idea. M77, what we're looking at in the upper right corner there, is a barred spiral about 47 million light years away. Discovered in 1780 by Pierre Marchand. Originally described it as a nebula. He then communicated his discovery to Charles Messier, who subsequently listed the object in his catalog. Both Messier and William Herschel described this galaxy as a star cluster. It's a Seyfert galaxy, one of the brightest Seyfert galaxies we can see, and is about 90,000 light years across. See, which one is this? 1055 down here? Yeah. So, where was I? Messier 77 is the largest member of a small group of galaxies, which includes NGC 1055. That's the one down here. An edge-on spiral galaxy likely twisted by gravitational interactions with Messier 77. I don't really notice any of the twisting going on there. They're saying it's somehow twisted, and these two are gravitationally interacted somehow. Well, they're both interesting looking galaxies, but I think I'm going to call it a night for now. And so thanks for being here. Stay tuned. Like I said, I will probably do part 2 either Sunday or Monday night, depending on how the weather looks and my schedule, but I think one of the 2 nights should work. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so, and we will I'll let you know when I schedule you'll get notified when I schedule the part 2 of this. So in any event, thanks everyone for joining, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye for now.